Yawn.
So, how's the
Review.
coming?
Is the first review finished?
I'm thinking.
Well, what's the holdup?
You already know which game to review first.
Just do it!
Well, it's not so much the subject as it is the format.
Huh? Format, like file?
Format?
Usually most video hosting websites
Take MP4.
No, that's not what I mean. I've been watching other people's reviews before this, for homework. And I've noticed most reviewers default to two major formats. Here, I'll show you what I mean. On one hand, there's scripted reviews. These give you the freedom to tell more, thought-out jokes. You need to be acting like it's not scripted. Then there's the improvisational reviews, the off-the-cuff sort of thing. They come across as way more natural, but you need lots of charisma, which I don't have yet. So what do you think I should do, Pixel?
This is simple.
¿Por qué no los dos?
So, something in the middle? Something a little bit more ad-lib?
Yes.
Just have fun with it.
You overthink things.
Way too much.
So just do it! Make your dreams come true!
As far back as I can remember, I've always been fascinated by video games. My earliest memories are full of sounds from the era, like Donkey Kong 64, Mario Party, and especially Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask. And before I could fully understand what I was looking at, I could tell this was cooler than anything else on TV. It was on my 5th birthday where everything changed.
When the Fire Nation attacked.
My parents got me and my sister our first ever consoles.
Nintendo Game Boy Color.
My sister got the cool looking purple one, while I got the blue one. I don't really remember how it went down back then. Yeah, something like that. But it's not the console that matters most, it's the games. And the very first game I ever owned was Q*bert.
Oh, come on.
I thought your first game was going
To be Zelda.
Disappointed!
Sorry, man. Didn't play the Zelda games until years later. As for why my folks bought a game like Q*bert instead of one of the games pictured on the back of the box, I wish I knew. Now sure, my first real foray into the gaming sphere wasn't a classic like Wario Land or Zelda. But no matter what game it is, everyone's first is impactful.
I'm looking at this gameplay, and
What in the...
is a Q*bert.
Glad you asked, my friend. Q*bert was definitely a product of its time. The Wild West of the 80s. Back then, there was no such thing as game design. As long as that game ate up quarters like nobody's business, it was considered a success. And much like any other successful arcade cabinet, Q*bert got all sorts of merchandise. A pinball machine, even a Saturday morning cartoon, if you can believe that. But despite all that apparent popularity, Q*bert was soon lost to the annals of gaming history, never to be heard from again.
Now, what could have...
Caused this.
Oh, it becomes pretty obvious the moment you start playing. Wow. It really has been a while since I've heard that Game Boy startup screen.
Brings back memories.
But nostalgia aside, I can't help but have this sinking feeling about this upbeat intro. Oh, right. Still jarring years later. Now, without any explanation, how many of you out there understand anything of what's going on here? Anyone?
Bueller?
Well, I'll try my best. The goal of Q*bert is to move around the level, hopping from cube to cube, changing the tops of each to the correct color, all the while avoiding enemies. And once every top has the right color,
You won!
Congratulations!
on to the next level. Now each level will have some differences, like different enemies or needing to hop on each cube more than once. But otherwise, it's all the same goal. And that, my friends, is Q*bert.
Seems fun and simple enough.
Enough.
Oh sure, it may seem that way on the surface, but under the hood, Q*bert is a clunky, unintuitive, downright unfair
Big medieval mess.
First, let's address the controls. In Q*bert, you always move diagonally. Now this worked well with arcade cabinet joysticks, but when porting over to home consoles, things got a little weird. Some versions support a sort of diagonal control scheme, but anyone who's played on a D-pad knows that if you have to press more than one input, there's going to be input errors. To fix this, most versions choose a standard mode. A mode where, instead of pressing 2 buttons in the cardinal direction you want to go, instead, you press 1, and that 1 takes you in a diagonal direction. This has always broken my brain. And even if you somehow get used to it, the game's inputs just sometimes...
Ah, yes, I see.
But what about the rest?
Rest of the game.
Well, much like the controls, it's not very intuitive. As you're playing, enemies are spawning everywhere, leaving you very little time to digest what's going on. And in a wacky game like Q*bert, visual clarity of what is and what isn't an enemy is important, but here, it's just not consistent. Especially when it comes to enemy design. Let's take the most common enemy, Coily, the snake. This purple thing will chase you around the entire map, and it's very obvious that it's an enemy. But what about this green snake? Well, that's a one-up. And what about this green ball that acts exactly like the dangerous red one? Well, turns out the green one is a power-up. Some enemies don't even hurt you when you touch them. But you wouldn't know that unless you read the manual.
Yeesh.
What 5-year-old is going to
Read that.
Nowadays, I can get around clunky controls or even some unintuitive design, but what really takes the cake is how unfair Q*bert can be. Since enemies just pop out of nowhere, without telegraphing when they're going to spawn, or which way they're going to go, it doesn't matter how skilled you are, it all boils down to pure luck. Even with this in mind, the developers had the audacity to create some really terrible levels.
But coward.
Younger me never got that far. I don't think I ever got past level 3. And to get footage for this review, it was an uphill battle, man. It was not fun.
I don't
get it? Well, why are you...
being so harsh.
Isn't this just a bad...
That port of an arcade classic?
Surely other versions
Versions or sequels,
are better.
right? Right?
Right?
Right?
Sorry, that just isn't the case here. In fact, I'd argue the version I grew up with
Right?
was actually one of the better ones. With all the new control schemes and the new content. No, you see, Q*bert is a unique franchise in the fact that it's not a franchise at all. "90% of all the games that have the Q*bert moniker is trying to be a port of the original arcade classic, or at least as close as they can get it. Essentially, if you played one, you've played them all. Except for maybe Q*bert 3 on the SNES, which With a brighter coat of paint and better enemy telegraphing, it's not as bad, but it's still just more Q*bert. And this is likely why Q*bert has been resigned to a few cameos in movies like Pixels
No relation?
and Wreck-It Ralph. He represents a franchise that held people's attention for a moment, but never received any innovations like its peers.
So, like,
Is the game
bad?
Not really, but I wouldn't suggest giving it to a 5-year-old as his first game. If any of you out there are curious, maybe it's worth a few minutes of your time, but besides that, I give it a pass. And with that, God bless you all, and have a great rest of your day.